my bike does a front flip and throws me off the bike. And I'm on the floor like, what the hell happened? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We on our way today to the mountain, to Bear Mountain in New York. I didn't have to work today, so it's supposed to be 67, so I decided to take advantage. I'm with my boy Justin. He has a beautiful XSR 900. Amazing looking bike. Looks kind of like a modern day kind of cafe racer. When I get next to him, I'll film it a little bit. And he definitely uses that bike, man. He commutes to work, he rides every day with that bike. So being that we gotta go slow because there's a cop ruining our flow, I wanted to talk about whether you should buy a new or if you should buy a used bike. It all depends on the situation. You know, to some people, like I remember there was a time for me where it wasn't even a thought in my mind to buy a new bike because I just didn't have the money for it. But this message is more towards new riders. If you're gonna buy a bike, you should definitely get a used bike if you're a new rider and you just started getting into this, you know, motorcycle business. Because what happens is when you're new at riding, you go through there's so many little things that you learn throughout the years of riding that you get with experience, where it's like motorcycling to me, it's you never know everything completely. You know, every year you learn something new. Every year, you know, there's things that you can work on. You're never the perfect rider. You're never going to be the perfect rider. You can be a good rider, you could even be a great rider, but you're never going to be the perfect rider. So when you're new, do not buy a brand new bike. I mean, unless, you know, if you're rich, and if you have the money for it, then yeah, fine, go ahead. But the reason why I say if you're a new rider, don't buy a brand new bike is because you fall a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't want to scare you, but you're gonna fall a lot. And it doesn't have to be bad crashes. It's not bad crashes. I fell as a new rider. I probably fell over 10 times, and it was, you know, there was one time I got hit, but it wasn't bad crashes. Like 9 out of those like 10, 11 times, it was always just little stupidities that you go through as a new rider. Like, for example, I was going into my parking lot, and you know, I was finally happy that, you know, I was finally happy that I learned how to ride, and I rode to work successfully. And when I got to my parking lot, I was turning to park the bike, and I was going too slow. So since I was going too slow, there was a piece of a twig on the floor, like a little branch. It was kind of thick, and I went over it with the front tire, and it made the front tire slide out, and I fell down right on the floor in front of everybody in front of my building. All the guys came over. They were rushing to help me. They were lifting the bike up. I was under the bike trying to get the bike off of me. And I couldn't, because the bike was like 450 pounds. You know, they came, they helped me. You know, now I know. You know, now that I'm a little bit more seasoned, I know that, you know, be careful with the twigs when you're going so slow. There was another time where I thought I was cool, and I was getting ready to leave, and when I'm ready to leave, I pull off, and my bike does a front flip and throws me off the bike. And I'm on the floor like, what the hell happened? I didn't press the brake, why I just did a front flip? You know what happened? As a new rider, I left my front lock, my disc lock on in the front. The disc lock caught as it went around in the rotation, stopped the bike and flipped me right off the bike. Those are like little things that happen when you're a new rider. I also had an instance where a school bus opened the doors on me as I was going by because the lady wanted to throw out her coffee. And when she opened the doors to throw out her coffee, she hit me with the doors on the bus. And I got into like a tank slap, and I got into a wobble because it just smacked my bike. And I ended up dropping the bike, sliding. I hit my leg with the peg of the bike. It put like a hole in my leg. God damn, what a bump. It put like a hole in my leg. The bike, the case cover, the bike didn't have any fairings, so thank God for that. But the case cover, the oil cover, you know, had a hole in it, was leaking oil everywhere. And I couldn't do nothing about it because at the time I was riding around without a license. Which that's another thing too, you know. You guys that are new riders, I rode without a license for about 2.5 years. And if something like that happens and you have no license, you're gonna be in the wrong because you wasn't even supposed to be on that bike. So I actually had to pick up my bike and go home. I called into work. I told them that, you know, I was in an accident, that I fell, that I couldn't come in that day. So I lost the money for working that day, which at the time I really wasn't making any money. I lost the money for working that day, and I had to buy a new case cover, a new starter cover. Careful with this guy, Justin. That happen. You see, now I know to be careful when I go by those school bus doors. I try not to even go by them because you never know what people are doing. People in these cars, they're unpredictable. All these people in these cars, you know, they're on their phones, they're texting, they're doing their makeup, you know, they're looking up sports on their phone, trying to see who won the game last night, and they're unpredictable. And when you're new, you don't have that, you know, those quick reflexes, the quick responses to know, and you're not that much of a defensive rider. You're kind of out here sometimes, either you're riding scared, because I rode scared for 2 years, either you're riding scared or you're just enjoying the ride. So that's why I say, when you're new, don't buy a brand new bike. Buy a bike, you can buy a decent bike, used, you know, that you're gonna have fun on, but that if you put a couple dings in it, a couple scratches, it doesn't hurt you so much, you know, because it was used, and you know, it was a little bit older, and the pieces are a little bit cheaper to buy, you know. Go through all the little learning curve, because trust me, there's a big learning curve when you get on these bikes. Even the guys, there's some guys that step in and, you know, they know how to ride the bike right away, they're quick with their reflexes. Even those guys, they make mistakes, you know. So bottom line, line is, I think if you're a new rider, you should definitely buy a used bike. So you get those skills up, and then you go one day and get the bike you want, that you really love.